Okay, the purpose of the video today is we want to give you some tips and tricks and some things to look out for when you have to move or expand an existing display in a Meijer store. There's been some incidents of damage because these things are actually harder to take down safely than they were to originally put up. So we're going to work on some of those tips. One of the first things that we want to show you is how relatively easy it is to take the trays apart without removing product. I like to do them one at a time. And the key is to get it pulled out, clear of the neighboring rack so that you can slide them apart. Notice how I keep the product in there. And in this case, I'm just going to rest it safely next door. And then you repeat. Okay, going forward, the improvement that we've come up with to make this top header sign install easier is that we've separated it. Whereas previously the header was built into the top tray, now we've separated it. So we first installed the top tray all by itself, and it doesn't have that additional sign burden and you know, hang up. So now, just like we did before, we locate with our marks, put our hands on the bracket so we can feel. That one went in so easy I didn't even have to work it. It's easier without the header on it. Then, it's the same original part of the header, but what we've done is we've added its own brackets. There's a left and a right bracket that slide into a channel on the back of it. And you can already see what's going to happen to this. In this case, to get it to line up, I slide it behind that tray and lock. Come over to this side, slide my sign accordingly, in and lock, center it up, insert the sign the same way. Ready? Okay, note that we were able to pull all the product off and leave it in its trays, with the exception of the top row. We advise that you empty the top row so that you can see what's going on, but we left the dividers in, so that's a very small matter. First step is lift, twist, and remove these arms. Lift, twist, and remove. And now, what I want to show you is there's some parts to trying to get these brackets. A lot of people have had trouble with these brackets hanging up. The movement is up, twist, and remove. And you can see that when I do that, the sign starts to hit and bind up a little bit. If I try bending before I've lifted, I'm doomed. I'll show you that with a bracket in a minute. So the key is I lift up and I get a nice clearance. I put my hand on the bracket. You see the torque I had to put on that, but out it comes. The second one can be harder because if I get this thing bent a little bit or out of position, it puts a torque on this side. So I have to try to hold this in the original position. Once again, lift. You can almost hear it release. And I'm twisting, and out it came. Now, to further illustrate that, I'm going to pull this piece out and show you that without the tray blocking it. Okay, if you zoom in on this, there's very often this little bracket catches, or you'll see what this takes to go in is a full twist. I'm going to do the other one, Kate, or no? Okay. A full twist, push in, rotate, and down. What happens on the way out is if I go up, if I'm pulling on this, I can't get it out unless I've got that full lift already. And that lift's very hard to feel when you have the tray in your hand. So the key really is lift, almost like a release, and then it'll come out for you. Now to put it back in, let's assuming now we've gone to our new location. It's really critical to mark your spots because you don't want to do this more times than you have to. In this case, I'm matching this existing 4-foot, and I've marked my spot over here so I know which one I'm going to be in. So I go to the marked one, and here's where, you notice what I'm doing. I'm looking underneath. The key is to get that point, and see the tension I've got on this. If within reason, this thing will bend, and sometimes it's easier to put your hand on the bracket. They both have to go in at about the same time. So I slide that bracket until I line the slot up. The key again here is just enough twist till it goes up, you hear it, and then snaps back down. It's not a, if it's binding, it's caught. You've got to find it. It doesn't take strength, it takes the right angles to get that in. And so if you're fighting it, you might be bending it. It's better to start over again and try to find the right alignment on it. When I'm down, it should settle right in and square.